Okay guys, it's the 27th of May. So first thing, I hope you're all having a good long weekend. Next week in relation to the Sunday analysis video, I'm moving house on Friday and I won't have internet again until sort of Monday afternoon, so I won't be able to put together the video next week. So as always, we'll start on the FTSE 100, we'll then look at the Euro USD. We'll have a quick recap of both markets in relation to last week's Sunday analysis, and then we'll have a look at the markets for the trading week ahead. So on the FTSE, coming into last week, what we went over was how we were still holding this trend channel. It's been lasting for a significant amount of time. If we started getting up above the all-time highs, looking back up toward the 7,900 level. So we're just using the round number as our clue because the market hasn't traded up here, so we don't have a lot of price action evidence. Market spikes up, tests 7,900, we get strong bearish movement from there. Now what we've also been looking for is some sort of break of the trend channel. And what we got was a bearish break last week. After the bearish break, we had key support down at 7712 to 7680. This zone right here, we had a nice bounce coming in on the Thursday, and then on the Friday, once again, strong bearish movement on the FTSE. It's all to do with, we're breaking down from that trend channel. So moving forward now that we've had that breakdown, the first thing is, it's a very, very steep move on the way up, similar to what we had back in January. And then we broke on January and had a very strong bearish movement. There is the potential now for a stronger correction on the FTSE. I'd say to at least sort of 7640 to 7630, but really I'd expect to see 7560 as we move forward now. Certainly some sort of strong pullback on this market. There's real potential now, especially for breaking down below key levels, that we'll see a much stronger correction all the way back down into 7300. However, what I would say is we have fairly key support in the way, so medium term I'd be happy to look for a pullback now towards sort of 7600. This level here at 7712 to 7682 is very key. We've had a number of days where the market has held here before we had another strong wave up. If we're breaking down below here, it remains good resistance to look for the moves back down into previous lows, which would be at 7644 to 7606. At present, it remains good support. Down below that level, next really key support is as we start to get down to 7590 toward 7566, and then down below there at 7560 down to 7530. Key support and key support. So breaks down below, looking for the moves down. We do have support at 7644, 7606. Right here, what I would say is it's worthwhile watching for potential bullish bounces. However, for me, the very key levels are down here, and then down below there, again, 7500, 7480. This is also very key support. If we're breaking down below here, it's what we've been going over for a few weeks also. I'd then be expecting that stronger correction to come into the FTSE, a stronger drop back down toward these previous levels, really at the little gap area sitting right here. If we see pullbacks next week, I'm also happy to look for the weakness, 7800, 7780, 7750, 7730, into these levels. Yeah, happy to look for the weakness, especially if we start coming back up and retesting at what is now potentially sloping resistance. If we just extend it, I'd be happy to look for weakness as we're touching those levels. That's really everything going into next week. I want to be a little bit cautious of the buys. Really, this zone for me is a good buy level, and then down below there we have two key buy levels here, one here. Apart from that, for me, I'd rather look for the potential sells. Sells on pullbacks to the levels. If we break down below here, certainly for a sell, looking for that move down into 7644. We're then at key support down here also. What I would say is breaks down below that 7530 level. Also good to look for weakness. And the moves lower, and then breaks down below here, as I've mentioned, looking for the pullbacks and then the stronger correction. Most likely longer term. You know, it's unlikely we're going to come all the way down here in a week, but you never know. Just need to wait and see. Okay, guys, that's everything for the FTSE. Let's move on to Euro USD. Okay, so for Euro USD, went over last week how we had broken down below our key levels of support, so the market was bearish. However, because it had such a strong move down, it was also worthwhile looking for potential bullish bounces. So the Sunday candle right here, we had our key support at 117.40 to 117.10. On the Monday, strong bullish bounce from that level all the way back up into our key resistance at 118.15. That's where the rejection came in. Market all the way back down to our next key support level, 116.90 to 116.52. Again, strong bullish bounce. And then on the Friday, we've had another strong bearish movement. So with day trading, I do go over it relatively frequently, especially with subscribers. You know, even if we're in strong directional movements, very often, as a day trader, we can still capitalize on key zones. Because although a longer term trader getting in here, so let's say they've seen the pin bar and they're getting in for a buy position, it doesn't really make sense, because you know you're in a downtrending movement, you're buying into that lower low of that downtrending movement, which is a very good place for sellers to step back in. As day traders, we can get in on these zones, lower time frames, and capitalize on these movements and still get great risk reward in your trades. But on the daily time frame, it barely even shows up. It's really, that's why I really like day trading. Okay, so coming into next week now on this market, what are we looking at? Well, our zones are pretty good. Really, this is key, this 118.52 to 118.15. It remains very key resistance. You know, it's that previous swing point of that downtrending movement. If we're breaking up above, it's also still worthwhile looking for those potential bullish bounces. And then up above there, we have that 118.80 to 118.95 level. Again, good resistance. What we're also potentially seeing is another small swing here. So our level at 117.74 to 117.62, again, good resistance. If we see the market pulling back now, if we start getting up above that level, it's good to look for potential bullish bounces. I wouldn't say back up into the next zone. I'd say be a little bit cautious at a sort of swing point here, which is sitting at around about 117.90 right here. I want to be a little bit cautious. If we start breaking above there, yeah, looking for the stronger bullish bounces. Down below, we're testing right at the lows of these two key support levels now. So what are we looking at next? Let's have a look. We've got a level at 116.25. Really all the way down into 116 right here. And then down below there, we have another level at 115.85 down into 115.70. This spike I'd really look to include in this little swing down here. Those are our two main levels for next week, down below where we currently are. One here and one sitting right here. So if we see the market coming down into these levels, again, good to look for potential support. Certainly this one here is a nice level of structure on the way down here. Down below, also good for bullish bounces. I would say also this one here, if we're breaking down below, good to look for potential resistance and the moves lower. What we're really looking at, you know, the market is still in a very strong bearish movement, potentially a steep downtrending movement right here. Taking the swing, the next swing, the more minor swing that we've been looking at, potentially a clue for slightly stronger bullish bounces on this market if we start breaking through that resistance level. But key support breaks down below for potential resistance. At present, this remains support until we see some sort of confirmation of the breakdown below. This also, if we start getting back up above, still good for those bullish bounces. Previous swing, key resistance. Up above there, we could start to look for those bullish bounces. And what I would also say is if we start to break up above this sloping resistance level. Yeah, a little bit more weight for slightly stronger bullish bounces. The market is still very bearish, so it is still counter trend, but this would be a good little confluence just to look for slightly stronger bullish bounces on this market. And then if we start to get back up above this level at 118.15 to 118.52, yeah, we can start to look for the bounces up into the next zones. Okay guys, that's everything for this week on Euro USD and for the Sunday analysis. As I mentioned, next week I won't be able to do the video. I am moving house, I won't have any internet over the weekend until sort of Monday afternoon. Hope you all have a good trading week next week, and as always, I hope this was helpful. I'm James Orr, and thank you.